session. It's a very important session about the trauma training in Southeast Asia and Middle East, ATLS and beyond. And I invite and welcome all the panelists along with my co-moderator, Professor Sandeep Tiwari, who is head of the Department of Trauma Surgery, KGMU, Lucknow. I request all the panelists to please switch on their videos. At the outset, I would like to invite Professor Saud Al-Turki, who is a country chair, ATLS, Saudi Arab. Professor Subhas Gautam, the country chair, ATLS, UAE. Professor Shafkat Khunkar, country chair, ATLS, Bangladesh. Professor MC Mishra, country chair, ATLS India program and president of Indian Society for Trauma and Acute Care. One of the pillars of ATLS India, Group Captain Dr. Parli Ravi. He's the ATLS course director and in charge of ATLS site, Command Hospital, Bangalore. Dr. Jaya Prakash, who is our very seasoned ATLS educator of ATLS India program from Jipmer Pondicherry. And in the last but not the least, Professor Vinod Jain, who is one of the strongest pillars of ATLS India. He's a professor of surgery, ATLS course director, and in charge of ATLS site at KGMU Lucknow. And to start this session, I invite Professor Vinod Jain to present his keynote talk in this session. Dr. Vinod, please.
Thank you, sir.
Can you share your slides?
Yes, I can share. Can you see, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good afternoon. Most respected and my mentor, Professor MC Mishra, sir, Professor Subodh Kumar, Professor Amit Gupta, Professor Sushma Sagar, and other dignitaries all across the globe. It is my proud privilege to be here, and I am very much thankful to the organizing team, especially Professor MC Mishra and Professor Subodh and Professor Amit, that they have given me a chance to speak in front of such luminaries so that I can convey my message to them. And my motto is a trauma training is a service to nation through zero trauma death. I would like to thank Professor Amit Gupta, who came to KGMU in 2012 as examiner, and we were sitting inside a hall after exam was over, and he inspired me for trauma training. I am telling you or trying to convey my message that how we developed ATLS facility at our KGMU. And through this story or through this journey, I'll be able to give my message. So when he inspired, I met Professor Subodh, who looks very tough from outside, but he's very supportive and he's very passionate. Then Professor MC Mishra. All of these three persons, doyens, they convinced me that after you should do some service to nation through trauma training. The most appropriate and closest hospital is to be reached by a wounded person so that golden hours can be saved. As Professor MC Mishra keeps on telling that time is of essence. What could be the best trauma center? In India, JP and Apex Trauma Center is #1 trauma center, all of us know. And in the world, from where the concept of trauma management started, from Maryland in 1972, it was R. Adam Cowley Shock Trauma Center. I thought to visit both the trauma centers and see what's happening over there. I took up my first ATLS provider course in April 2013, and you can see Professor MC Mishra is there as a course director, Professor Subodh Kumar, Professor Amit Gupta, and this is me standing behind Professor Subodh Kumar. At that very moment, I was attending this course with Professor Samir Mishra and thought and conveyed that we are going to have our Center of ATLS in Uttar Pradesh at KGMU. After we have visited and done this course, we thought that we should go to the best center of world also and see from where this originated. Professor Vineet Sharma, Professor Sandeep Tiwari, and Samir Mishra and myself went to R. Adam College Shock Trauma Center in 2012 for a 15 days observership program. And there to everyone, I asked single question, how we can improve trauma care in India. Dr. Thomas M. Scalia was Director-in-Chief. He told that young doctor must take trauma as their career. So that was the message by Thomas Scalia. Then Dr. Mayur Narayan told that it is not the surgeon or the doctor, but the nurses and paramedics. They should also be properly trained so that we as a team can give better trauma care. We met Dr. Neeraj Barjatia, who is the Chief Neurocritical Care in India. Basically, in most of the hospital, we are managing neurotrauma by general surgery. But he told that this has to be managed by neurosurgeon only. Professor David Boyd, who gave the classification of shock, what we are talking about just now. When I asked this question to him, he told that dedication and consistency is the only way to work when we are trying to give trauma care. The physician education, Professor David Gens was there. He told that medical students, they are put on rotation during their undergraduate curriculum. So they are more inclined towards trauma. So what is happening now? See, our surgeons are not taking trauma as a career. The youngsters, they are not taking trauma as career. So to inspire them, right at the undergraduate level, they are doing the posting, rotatory posting in trauma surgery or in the trauma center. Then Andrew Pollock, orthopedic surgeon, gave a wonderful idea that whether it is a neurosurgery, chest surgery, abdomen surgery, or orthopedic surgery, all surgery should be done in one operation theater, one anesthesia by different trauma surgeons or by a trauma team. Nirav Shah told that there is place for training and the chest physician should be involved right from very beginning rather than late when the person develops this MSOF or ARDS during third P. Whatever we do, we need to develop certain data, and that data we can develop through proper registry. I have seen, or we have seen, that how registry is being done over there, and we have to replicate. It is very well done in JPN Apex Trauma Center. That has to be replicated all over India. This is the information and communication system. They can just from the pre-hospital site up to the hospital, they can follow the patient up. And this was a guy, I am just forgetting his name. And we met and just asked about the all intricacy. Then not only the victim is treated, but it is to be seen that victim is back to work with the same zeal after proper rehabilitation. So therefore we went to just observe the Karnan Rehabilitation Center over there. And there we came to know not only the physical rehabilitation, but the social and the mental rehabilitation is also important for all of them. Ward round is well taken and all of them are free to interact whatsoever, even nurse, the junior doctors, the physician or the surgeon, all of them interact. And suppose they have got any controversy, that is solved then and there. Then what we wanted to know what is happening on the nursing side. Dina Holler is a trauma nurse coordinator. She told that all the nurses who are dealing with the trauma should be trauma trained, properly training of the trauma. And this talk was being done yesterday by our DGHS also. Then we met Director, American Association of Critical Care, Karen McClellan, and she told not only once, but repeated trauma training has to be done. That is very important. And this housekeeping is to be done by different staff. That is the irony of fate that in our setup, in our India, most of the housekeeping is done by the staff nurses. Trauma drill is ongoing process, which is being continuously done. It is not that only once we have done, then later on we forget. After we have gone to JPN Apex Trauma Center and this Maryland, then we came to know that we also need a course coordinator. So my course coordinator, Shalini Gupta, as you can see, went to JPN Apex All India Institute observed the course there, and now we were ready for ATLS provider courses. Inaugural course was done in 2016 in March, and in 8th course, as you are seeing the red, the fire broke at our facility. And then again on the 20th number you are watching, observing, we have to hold the course because of the COVID pandemic. And we have again resumed as 21st course, and December we are planning another course. This you can see our inaugural course. Professor Subodh is there, Professor MC Mishra is there, our DGM is there, and Professor Ravi Kant, then the Vice Chancellor, who is now the Director of the AIIMS, is there. So the facility was created by previous Vice Chancellor, Professor D.K. Gupta, and it was promoted by Professor Ravi Kant later on. Then you can see Professor Nikki Sabrawal also came and observed. Professor Sunil Kumar is there, who also came to our center. Right now, we are very much feeling pride that he is DGHS and he has visited our center. Then this was the day when our next Vice Chancellor, Professor MLB Bhatt, joined, and this is the 8th ATLS provider course. Just after we have finished this course, fire broke in ATLS center. You can see the red flames. These flames are from our training center. Absolutely everything was ruined, turned to ashes. We were aghast what to do. Our mannequins were kept because the fire broke because of short circuit in nearby office, and from that office it spread to this area. It was 1 a.m. in night when the fire was extinguished, and there was a lot of fumes all around. Myself, my course coordinator, Mrs. Shalini Gupta, one of my student, then Raghavendra, and some other, Abhishek Singh, they all went. And you can literally feel that nothing was visible because Samir and Sandeep were busy in transferring the live patients. And we thought that we should go and just save our mannequin if we can. We went there. Luckily, the mannequin were kept in the iron almirah. We opened the iron almirah in the mobile torch, brought them like our child, kept it safely, and right now we are using. So now the challenge was, and 3 days onwards, we expectorated carbonation sputum, all of us. Now the challenge was we had to do next course because it was absolutely ruined. So the convention center, there we have got a center, and this is the place where we were to develop. And then we worked very hard, and within a period of 6 months, you can see we developed this new facility, which was being observed by Professor MC Mishra, then with Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor MLB Bhatt. And you can see the facility, and it is recently inaugurated by the current Vice Chancellor, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri Sahab, who has just inaugurated. You can see the inaugural stone, and this is our dining facility and all. So now we could build much better facility now. We conducted same year. See, in the March 2017, we had fire, and in December 2017, we again resumed our courses. Then again, we had to face one more challenge. We were told that we need to conduct ATLS instructor course at our site, and we were not trained about this, conducting the ATLS course as faculty. So I asked Professor Mishra, sir, can we do it? Well, yes, you can do it. Professor Amit Gupta and Professor Subodh Kumar and Mr. Suresh Sanghi will come. There's no problem. Okay, there's no problem. 3 days ago, we came to know that because of some preoccupation, Professor Amit Gupta and Professor Subodh Kumar are not able to come. Now what to do? Then Professor MC Mishra told, yes, you can do it. I am with you. Mr. Suresh Sanghi will come and will help you out. 1 day before, we came to know that Mr. Suresh Sanghi is not able to come. Now what to do? We had absolutely a new course coordinator, Mrs. Shalini Gupta, and our Sandeep Tiwari, Samir Mishra, Kshitij and all, Hemlata. But Professor MC Mishra insisted, you can do it and you should do it. And I am with you. We were apprehensive because there was 10th edition update also, and American delegation was supposed to come, and they have come to observe our courses also. And then we could do 3 back-to-back ATLS instructor courses, as Professor Mishra tells. It never happened across the globe anywhere. So that we are proud of, and we accepted that challenge. And later on, we conducted these courses, and the 10th edition update, you can see it was very well done. It was well appreciated by the American delegation. They went very happy and had a very good opinion about India as far as the ATLS course is concerned. Then we just conducted all those courses, and you can see now, recently we have resumed 9 to 11th November 2020 with our Army person, the new Vice Chancellor, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri. So that is how we could and we are doing ATLS training in Uttar Pradesh. Now I come to my topic, why I have told this story. There are so many points to be discussed. Why trauma training and trauma care is service to nation. Our young doctors should understand that they are the future of the nation. If they take up the trauma as their career, then they will be really serving to the nation, because in most of the cases or most of the hospital, most seriously injured patient often is first dealt with the most inexperienced staff, just because lack of training. We have got untrained medical, paramedical and ambulance staff. In India, 1 out of 6 serious trauma victims dies, while in the US it is 1 in 200. So see, there is almost non-existent. I am not talking about the JP and Apex trauma system or other specialized. We are improving upon right now with lots of effort. This, I want to show that we are losing approximately 3% GDP by trauma death. So I can call upon my young surgeons, if they want to serve the nation in a better way, nothing could be better, that they can save GDP, they can save the lives of the patient, because we lose most of the life. They are productive age group, 15 to 44 years. They are males. With this trauma education, training and research, this STAC was founded in 2007, and this was the main objective. And since then, they are working tirelessly to improve the trauma training. JP and Apex Trauma Center, AIIMS New Delhi, is the first level 1 trauma center of the India. And it was fully functional from 26 November 2007. This is my personal observation as far as trauma training is concerned, that young surgeons are less inclined towards trauma surgery because they want to go for the easy life. They may join urology, or they may join plastic surgery or the cosmetic surgery, but trauma surgery is very demanding. I salute to all the trauma surgeons who have taken it as a career, and I invite and I just call upon all the young doctors, they should take trauma surgery as a career if they really want to serve the nation. And moreover, the formal education and training is not mandatory for trauma care providers. There is no accreditation of paramedics, and regular trauma training is lacking. As far as definitive trauma care is concerned, in most of the government hospital, if I'm talking about in the rural area of the India, there is lack of trained staff. So a lot of things that training is required at that level, then only we will be able to save GDP. And we often miss, sometimes because of the poor training, we miss the injury. Our Indian colleague, they must be remembering Amitabh Bachchan, who had injury in the abdomen during a film shooting Coolie, and it was detected later, and there so many complications they occurred. My dear friends, my dream is zero trauma death. Like we have achieved zero smallpox in India previously. We are at the verge of having polio-free India. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has declared that by 2025, we should be free from tuberculosis. And World Health Organization has declared that we should be free from HIV and AIDS by 2030. My question is, when these are the things, and if you combine all together, the number of deaths are more in trauma, why can't we take a mission to have zero trauma death through training? This you can see during this COVID season. I have written a book just for the sake of policymakers, the doctors, nurses, paramedics in Hindi. And this was released by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who is currently Honorable Vice Chancellor, on 6 November 2020. And in this book, I tried that the policymakers, they should be influenced to develop trauma training as a policy. Now, what is needed to choose trauma care as a career for young doctors? First of all, there should be clear goal. Yes, it is a service to nation, and they should feel that they can do it. It is not that should come out of the fear of failure. They should not believe that trauma surgery is a scary branch. It is a very rewarding branch. And whatever they feel, the integrity is they should do accordingly. They should have proper determination and commitment what we had, because the goal was clear in our ATLS story. We have to have ATLS center in KGMU. Whatever we thought, we as a team did it, and we had a strong belief that we can do it, and determination and commitment. There was a passion, and we can see the passion all through in the JPN Apex Trauma Center, all the Army, the Bangalore, by now all the sites, they are doing that ATLS trauma training, they are doing it with passion and enthusiasm. And that passion and enthusiasm should percolate into the younger generation to adopt trauma as a career. The persistence and perseverance, that is very important, what Dr. Boyd has told. And that is we had lot many difficulties, but we persisted. And then teamwork. You have to have a good teamwork when you are performing. All of us agree. And I am very fortunate in KGMU and the Lucknow that we have got a very good team of ATLS educators, coordinators, and the assistant coordinators also. Then you need to visualize a role model. Till you visualize a role model, you will not be motivated. And I have got no hesitation to say that as far as trauma care is concerned or trauma training is concerned, my role model is our STAC president, Professor MC Mishra. You can be your role model. You can find some other role model, but you have to visualize a role model. And support of administration, luckily we had 4 vice chancellors by now, and all of them have supported. So this support of administration also be there. And you have to find a purpose, why at all you are going to do this, why you are joining trauma care as service, trauma care as career. You have to find a purpose, and the purpose is not to earn money. Purpose should be service to nation. Nothing is impossible, my dear friends. As you can see, this land, the zebra can drive motorcycle. This dog can fly. You can see the stack balancing. You can see these are all computer-made picture. But what about this picture? She is Jessica Cox, first licensed armless pilot and black belt in American Taekwondo. When this can happen, then why can't we succeed to have zero trauma death in India through trauma training and trauma care? My dear friends, again, I call upon all the young doctors that they should take up trauma training as career. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this keynote address.
Thank you very much, Professor Vinod Jain. A big round of applause, and it was very elusive and comprehensive talk, and to describe the journey of ATLS at KGMU Lucknow and trauma care, why it is so important. Now, without wasting much time, I request Professor MC Mishra, the country chair ATLS India program, to just tell about the overview of ATLS India program and his experience with the ATLS, restart of the ATLS in India in this COVID time.
Professor MC Mishra, please.
Hello.
So please unmute yourself.
Sir, Professor Mishra, you are unmuted. You are muted.
The ATLS program in India is a decade-old program. We have been able to conduct close to 500 student courses, close to 60 instructor courses. We rolled out 10th edition of AIDS in 2018 very successfully with the help of Professor Vinod Jain and his team in KGMU. And then we were going smooth until the COVID hit everyone around the globe. And then the whole ATLS courses were put to a standstill, put on hold everywhere, not only in India. But we have made a beginning in India with the AIMS Rishikesh taking the lead. And then actually the Command Hospital Air Force Bangalore, and then Symbiosis Pune, then EMRI Hyderabad, and then KGMU Lucknow, Manipal Hospital Bangalore. So, and then in between, we were also stuck with instructor courses. So I must put on record our appreciation for Dr. Zaya, our senior educator with ATLS, who planned and executed so successfully the first virtual instructor course. It was hybrid, naturally, conducted at two places, that was Navi Mumbai and Rishikesh. And that was a very, very encouraging experience for all of us, which we shared with during LTC, which Dr. Saudi had organized. So I welcome Dr. Saud Al-Turki, Dr. Subhash Gautam, Dr. Zaya, Professor Vinod Jain in this session, and Dr. Subodh, you can continue with the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your introduction, and welcome to all the panelists. And now I request Dr. Pali Ravi quickly if he can share his presentation about his experience with the first ATLS hybrid course in India in this COVID time.
Yeah,
Dr.
that
Pali
was
Ravi, can you
actually
share?
hybrid. That was the first restart of ATLS, not the first, the second.
No,
I think
yeah,
Rishikesh
second,
had
yeah.
already done. Yeah.
Yeah, Rishikesh already done. Second in the COVID time.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are
Yes.
audible. And yeah.
Hello.
So Dr. Pali, please.
Yeah, you are audible.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Partly you are audible.
Audible. And sir, can you see the screen, sir?
Yes.
My presentation
Yes,
is
we can
on.
see the slides. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present our view on how we restarted during the ATLS and ATCN course during the COVID times. Again, greetings to you from my hospital at Bangalore. Now, we have conducted two courses during the COVID pandemic, sir, one in July and one in October for ATLS and ATCN both. Now, there was initial guidelines by the College of Surgeons in early June, after which, and the administrators were very keen in continuing the course because it adds to a very good valuation for our combat medical training. So we did certain innovations and tweaks to ensure that this course went successfully, sir. Now, all the participants, the instructors, the mollages, the administrative staff moved into the hospital 7 days in advance after giving proper health and travel disclosure forms. And we stayed in a bubble, and we were deployed in the non-COVID duties in the hospital. We underwent pre-course health assessment and pre-course sensitization by the quality assurance cell of our hospital, were issued with N95 face shields and sanitizers every day during the process of course. The training wing, the place where the course was done, was completely sanitized 3 days prior to the beginning of the course, and all the mannequins and equipments were sanitized almost 3 times a day during the process of course, sir. Now, after which we did not use any air conditioning, sir, during the discussion in the hall. Apart from it, we used mannequins for the trauma victims, as to depict the trauma victims, and ATLS as mollages. We had maintained adequate social distancing, so that entailed that everybody should get a collar mic with a system so that the communication is not hampered. After which we had a ringer bell system where we rang the bell every time, 1 hour duration, to ensure that the people get sanitize their hands. And we created a buddy system so that everybody takes care of his own companion. We demonstrated the whole of initial assessment in a full PPE kit. This was to sensitize that how it's going to be, the trauma care is going to be in the next coming future, sir. Now, pre-fact tea snacks were served at the place of the to the candidates, and there was given after which they went to a specified place to dispose that off. Now, we had an advantage of having 8 ATLS instructors, who we divided the skill stations of ATLS into 4 into 8. So what happened is that with this, we were able to reduce the footfall, and each instructor had only 2 participants to hand on. But we were not able to do so for ATCN because we had less instructors for ATCN. Apart from it, the timekeeping was maintained by the instructors themselves. Now, initial assessment, everybody wore the PPE. The moulages were used for ATLS, mannequins for ATCN. And if you see, we have to give collar mics to all the participants before they wore the PPE. This was just to test the metal also, because almost 1.5 hours they were wearing the PPE. So they got a touch of what is going to be trauma care in during COVID times. We ensured that you have got only what we call one instructor doubled as a duty for the nurse to reduce the footfall in the station. Now, certificates were distributed, the photographs was taken in the place, and valedictory function is unimagined. Can't imagine a valedictory function in armed forces without a handshake. So we created something known as elbow salutes to circumvent that. And I will say that we were slow off the blocks, but as we, especially in the first course, but as we gained momentum, we were like scotch and water in the second course. We had a great feedback from the participants, because the participants had everybody there, because we lived in a bubble. So we ensured that for 7 days pre-course, 3 days course, and 7 days post-course, we lived in a bubble. So the participants are always very close to the instructors, especially in the evening. Now, there was an issue about the food or excess food. We will try to sort it out. We are working on a solution. We are speaking with AIIMS Rishikesh. I think they have got the ideal one. And although we are unsettled with the new normal, we presume to continue the course during pandemics, but we want to return back to the old normal. Now, I must thank, the ATLS and ATLS family and ATLS chair. The administration was sitting like a monkey on our back. So we thought that we will be able to push this after the courses after the COVID time. So, we turned towards the ATLS chair India to give us a long rope, but he cut us loose. But that's fine. We realized that we enjoyed the courses, and we realized that that's why ATLS chair has been a true mentor to us. He understood our potential and gave us the opportunity to conduct the course during the COVID. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Parley, and it was really great experience, and it shows your passion towards the trauma training in India and especially towards the ATLS. Without wasting much time, I request Dr. Jaya. He's a very seasoned ATLS educator of ATLS India program, to share his experience with the first hybrid ATLS instructor course recently concluded in November in this COVID time. Dr. Jaya, please, 5 minutes to your talk. Thank you. Please unmute yourself.
Can you able to see my slides, sir?
Yes, you are audible and we can see your slides.
Thank you, sir. So at the outset, I thank Professor Mishra, ATLS India Chair, Professor Subodh Kumar from AIIMS New Delhi, Professor Amit Gupta from AIIMS New Delhi, and all the team ATLS India for giving me this opportunity. So the objectives for this session are: one, to describe the relevance of hybrid ATLS instructor course with reference to COVID-19 pandemic situation, and second, to share the experience gained from an hybrid model instructional strategies adopted for ATLS instructor course, and third, to suggest suitable online platforms or digital tools for transacting the ATLS instructor course curriculum. So the background for this is, at the outset, I have forgotten to convey the greetings from JIPMER. Greetings from JIPMER, and I welcome you all to this Trauma 2020 virtual conference. And as we all know, that COVID-19 has created a variety of crises across the globe in all the fields, and education is not an exception. And ATLS is also not an exception. So the teaching community were forced to think of new avenues and alternate strategies for engaging their learners. And in this regard, online mode of teaching, learning, and assessment were identified by most of the education institutions, and they resort to convert their regular teaching to online mode of teaching. And promoting, here the challenge in online teaching is that promoting active learning through online mode is a great challenge. And we thought that we should experiment. We should take this opportunity and experiment with a hybrid model for ATLS instructor course. So with this, as we all know that the domains of instructor course consists of a variety of teaching, how to teach components that are directly related to the ATLS core content. So in this regard, ATLS instructor course has the core contents such as principles and philosophies of teaching the course, micro scenario based teaching, that is micro teaching, and management of various student behavior, effective means for conducting an interactive discussion and leading a group discussion, techniques for teaching psychomotor skills, and providing effective feedback, critiquing, and assessing students' performance. These are the core content of an instructor course, ATLS instructor course. Now let us see the course plan that was designed for this hybrid course. First, the soft copy of the instructor course manual was forwarded to all the 9 registered participants. For the first hybrid course, there were only 9 registered participants. And a WhatsApp group was created for forwarding circular and update the participant with instructor course information for sending the reminders. An online class was opened in the Google Classroom, which is a free learning management software of Google. And the content delivery was divided into asynchronous, that is there will not be any real-time interaction, and synchronous, where there will be real-time interaction, and the third part is the on-site thing. So asynchronous, synchronous, and on-site delivery. So the duration of the asynchronous part is 5 days, that is just before the start of the synchronous session. So we had the ATLS instructor course, the ATLS, the asynchronous session started from 29th till 2nd November, and 3rd and 4th was the on-site course. So the following digital tools were used: Google Classroom for asynchronous activity, for posting the materials, questions, worksheets, tests, etc. Zoom meeting for synchronous activities, that is for real-time discussion. Google Forms for self-assessment tests, WhatsApp for information sharing, communication with participants and faculty. So what strategy was adopted? So the following online strategy were adopted for the instructor course. One is teaching learning strategy adopted for asynchronous delivery, that is activity-based learning with pre-course learning exercises, so wherein the participants are given chance to read and answer, watch and reflect. So videos were given where they will watch and then reflect on that. Self-assessment questionnaires were given using Google Forms. Question and answers were given. They were asked to read a particular chapter and answer certain questions. And assignments were also posted to the participants during this 5 days asynchronous mode. And topics for the asynchronous mode were: what does it mean to learn, factors that influence the learning, and reflection on the cognitive load theory, quiz, that is a self-assessment, and interactive teaching, micro teaching, questioning techniques and feedback. So as part of synchronous, all the educator sessions were delivered via Zoom platform in real time from educator site on the program days of the instructor course. So the on-site thing included micro scenario based teaching, wherein the participants demonstrated their teaching skills in the presence of their site faculty, and the other faculty observed virtually. And psychomotor skill practice station, psychomotor skill assessment, initial assessment session with online faculty and observers from other sites. So these are the 3 strategies. One is asynchronous, the other one is synchronous part, and then third one is the on-site part. So micro scenario based teaching was done on-site using the same thing was transmitted to the online observers using Zoom platform. So feedback and program evaluation. At the end of the course, participants, we collected the feedback from the participants. This is the feedback format. Objectives met, whether the objectives of the sessions are met or not, what facilitated participants' learning, and what hindered their learning, suggestions for improvement. So this is the feedback format. And we got this is the what you are seeing is the gist of the feedback that we got from the participants. So most of the participants agreed that the objectives of the sessions were met, and the positive thing is that anytime anywhere approach, they like the anytime anywhere approach of the asynchronous mode of teaching using the Google Classroom. And most of them felt the learning was exciting for them, and it was motivating because they were forced to read the manual and answer some question, do some assignment, reflect on certain videos and pictures. So they felt the whole of the asynchronous part was really exciting for them. And some of the drawbacks they mentioned is that they are not familiar with the technology, and they don't know how to, some of them are not familiar in using the Google platform. And due course of them, they also learned that, and some have mentioned that lack of time for taking part in the Google Classroom sessions. And finally, they have also given some suggestions. One of the most prominent suggestions is they want us to continue this e-learning platform for further learning, to continue to further their learning. And program evaluation was also done to assess the effectiveness of this hybrid ATLS course. And we also got certain evidence for learning at the end of this course. These were the evidences that were documented. So the total hours spent by the participants as part of asynchronous mode in the Google Classroom is 5 to 8 hours by each participant. And all participants got chance to read, write, and reflect on the ATLS content, instructor course content. And the interaction analysis of the responses to the question and answer assignments revealed that most of the participants were able to read and then reflect on the content, and they were also able to give their own reflection on each of the concepts discussed in the Google Classroom. And the participant self-assessment also helped them to test themselves on the concepts discussed in the Google Classroom. And this is a snapshot view of the Google Classroom. So totally 8 exercises were given. It started with what does it mean to learn, and what are the factors that influence learning. And the third one is we showed them a video link, YouTube video link was posted, YouTube video link of Bill Gates, who talks about the importance of feedback. So this video was posted, and then participants are asked to reflect, and we got reflection from the participants. And test yourself is an assignment which contains some 20 MCQs, wherein the participants got a chance to test themselves and assess themselves, which also gave them a final score of their knowledge. And then interactive teaching, there was an assignment on interactive teaching, assignment on feedback, and there was a material on micro teaching was posted for reading as a reading exercise, and a material on questioning was also posted with some questions. So to check whether the participants have gone through the material or not. So questions were also posted. So this is the screenshot of the Google Classroom platform which we use for this thing. And this is again the snapshot of the comments posted by the participants. In fact, as an educator, I felt that I got more comments when compared to the real-time sessions, where we have a time limitation of 30 to 35 minutes for each session. But here there is no time limitation, so participants got two or more chances to post their comments. So this is one major advantage of using this Google platform, that is asynchronous mode of thing. So participants came out with a lot of views. They were free to express their views on the topics that were taken for discussion. And this is again the snapshot of the Zoom platform which we use for the synchronous session. So to summarize, these are the unprecedented times, and the pandemic has brought both clarity and urgency to adopt new technologies in training and trauma care professionals. And considering the situation, the ATLS India after this experiment has found that this model of hybrid ATLS instructor course is effective in meeting the objectives of the instructor course, and it is feasible in India. It also strongly feels that following the principles of distance education and proper learner engagement strategies is must for a hybrid course, which we followed to a maximum extent in this instructor course. And it also records that ATLS India has necessary digital infrastructure and trained manpower to conduct a hybrid model of ATLS instructor course in India.
So thank you very much, Dr. Jaya. And as usual, you are, I think, one of the finest ATLS educators, and I have no doubt about it. And you aptly described our experience with the ATLS hybrid instructor course. Before I request Professor Saud Turkey to deliver his talk, I'll request Professor Subhash Gautam and then Professor Shafqat to give a quick comment about these two talks, and especially in view of the COVID times and restart of ATLS India. And Professor Subhash Gautam actually was instrumental in starting the ATLS course in India. So first, a quick comment from Dr. Subhash Gautam and then Shafqat Gundkar.
Thank you, Subodh. Thank you, Subodh. First of all, let me congratulate Professor Mishra, Subodh, and Amit and the team to do a wonderful job of organizing this trauma virtual. First of all, about virtual training and virtual learning, I think as Professor Jay has said, this is difficult times, and we have learned a new way of delivering the education. We in the UAE have a similar issues. Actually, our issues are much worse than in India. We were not allowed to conduct any educational activities till this October, starting from the end of February. And we managed to do 3 hybrid ATLS courses. We were not as strict as the Bangalore was, but I would like to add, what we had to do, all of us has to produce a PCR test 4 days before the course could start. And we learned from the students' experience that hybrid course was better liked than the normal course because the instructors spent more time in teaching. They were more interested in teaching. Unfortunately, when we do a regular course, we are putting more emphasis on lectures, but actually it is the skill stations that students take home. And I think we learned this once again, that we should try to spend more time in the skill stations. The lectures are important, but I think the skill station, what the students take home, is more important, and hybrid course has definitely endorsed this. Second, coming to Jay, I think Jay did a wonderful job of organizing this type of online instructor course. He opened another avenue that any place, any country that doesn't have educator, they can follow Dr. Jay's idea, can have a hybrid courses. Not taking much time, I will let Professor Saud Al-Turki come in.
Yeah, Professor Shafkat. Professor Shafkat, a quick comment from you about this ATLS program in COVID times.
Yeah, thank you very
Quick
much.
comment.
I wish to thank all of you for letting me into the way how you are conducting the ATLS courses in India during the COVID times. We actually joined the ATLS fraternity only in 2019 February, when we had our promulgation. And we were managing things fairly slowly, but exactly when we were ready to take off, the COVID struck. So we have had to suspend all our courses. And at the moment, we are just planning how we are going to go into the the way of doing interactive discussions virtually. And we believe that the skill stations can't be done virtually, so we have decided that we shall be doing the skill stations in person. And having taken all the tips from what you have been doing in India, I think we will be able to manage, and we should be able to begin as soon as this second wave recedes. Thank you very much for allowing me to talk, and it's been a nice experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Shafkat, for your comments about and ATLS program in Bangladesh in this COVID time. And actually, the whole world is fighting with this COVID, and it's very heartening to see that we could start few courses in India. Now, I request Professor Saud Al-Turki to present his talk. Professor Saud Al-Turki is a country chair of ATLS Saudi Arab.
Thank you very much, Professor Kumar. It's a pleasure for me to be, an honor to be among this great group in Trauma 2020 virtual. Special thanks to Professor Mizra and Professor Kopta for also the invitation. I'm very happy to see my I won't say old friend, but my best friend for a long time, Dr. Subhash Gautam, to see him. I'm so delighted and happy to encounter him again, as we together worked very hard in the past to establish Region 17 with the American College of Surgeons. I don't know, most of you don't know that our region was under European region for a while before we fight and were able to convince the American College of Surgeons, different committee and trauma members and chairs about the differences in our region, and we could do better if we establish our region. So This effort has been fruitful, and the ATLS has been now in around 17 countries in our region. So I have nothing to disclose, and as I mentioned, since we started this program, we almost bring all the important courses, including ATLS, ATCN, BHTLS, and ATOM team, disaster management courses, and Stop the Bleed and others. I don't have to remind you that there's a lot of studies that to show that those courses improve mortality and morbidity and improve the care of trauma patients. And the ATLS course has been reaching now 89 countries if we look for the update, and many courses. This is the statistics on 2019. In Saudi Arabia, we were one of the earliest countries in our region. We started the program in 1991. And today we have 43 centers all over the kingdom running regularly ATLS courses, plus many other courses like ATCN and BHTLS, and sometimes ATOM. And actually it proved fruitful, and the government supported this course. It's mandatory for surgeons, it's mandatory for ER physicians to take ATLS and ACLS, and it's mandatory for surgical residents to take the trauma course, including orthopedic and others surgical subspecialty, which increased the demand on this course. And we run between 150 to 180 per courses. Even during COVID-19, we stopped only for 2 months, and we have some rules and regulation we followed by our government, and I'm very happy to share with you our experience. Well, we have done over 30 courses, including 2 hybrid instructor courses, 3 on-site instructor courses, and also we did online ATLS lectures, as well as skill station later on, and hybrid and on-site. And Saudi Arabia is having one of the lowest COVID-19 because it's if you walk in the streets without a mask, you will find around $300 US. And also the shops which allow people to get in for people with no mask and no alcohol to clean their hands will be closed and will have a high fine. Unfortunately, we used to have to be one of the highest incidents of trauma in the world, but because of the many initiatives, including trauma education, including smart cameras, and including other social media initiatives, we were able to reduce mortality in Saudi Arabia from 2017 to now by 40%. We used to be 29 per 100,000. We are now 17 per 100,000. And one of the reasons is education, but also other activities or other initiatives by the government. And we are aiming to have 0 trauma mortality, and we hope to achieve that. So we are very proud of this achievement in short time. As I mentioned, the course is all over the kingdom because now it's mandatory. We have to be there everywhere, and there's a great demand on the course, and it has been successful so far. We have about 48 course directors. We have around 160 certified educator in our country. We were able also, after establishing the region, which at that time it was small still, in 2006 to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of ATLS in Saudi Arabia. And I could see there Dr. Subash, you could see there Dr. Subash and Dr. Gautam, my friend, who was instrumental in the region promulgation of the course. So this is part of the, our region has achieved a lot, and we have so many awards in our region, different types of awards recognized by the American College of Surgeons. It's just our fate that we are in a region which is volatile, and the ATLS promulgation started just before what is being called the Arab Spring. We don't call it here Arab Spring, we call it wild fall, because there was a lot of trauma, mortality, and morbidity from war. And it really helped the people that we introduced the course in Syria, for example, and they teach it all to the people around Lebanon as well. We could not integrate the course in Libya because of security reasons, but we were able to do about 8 demo courses thanks to the help of the Egyptian chapter. We were able to go initially to Iran for the first 2 courses inaugural, but then we were not allowed to go there because of the tension between the countries. So despite the political issues and the risk, our team in the region has took the risk and have been all over the place. Despite, we mitigate the risk, but for example, in Iraq, we did the course in Kurdistan, which is after we tried to do it in Baghdad and Basra, but every time we plan it, there is a big bomb and big security issues, and we have to do it somewhere else safe. Not absolutely safe, but at least it's reasonably safe. But we had the passion to go around and educate people. It was really worth doing that. This is pictures from inauguration in Lebanon. This is in Iran. And this is some pictures from Syria. Syria, it's very interesting that the war started during the second inaugural course. I was there as a course director to train the course director locally, and the war arose at the same time, and everybody was tense. And we had the choice whether we should continue on the course or not. But we thought if the student show, we will continue and then finish the course. They came, but they were very scared, worried, and there was a lot of talk and discussion about what's going on. Some pictures about course in Oman, in Egypt. It one of the active chapters there, led by Dr. Abdul Hakim Al-Khouly. As I mentioned to you, that we could not integrate in Libya because every time we decided to integrate, there was security issues or a major war in that zone. So we do in between demo courses, as I mentioned, with the help of the Egyptian chapter being the neighbor country to Libya. The course in Jordan also is another successful program, and Dr. Mahmoud Oudat is the chair there, and he lead a great program there. So as I mentioned to you that initially we were under Europe and we did not find it reasonable because of the difference in the culture, because of the distances to travel to attend regional meeting, and because of the differences in the way things are conducted and the health service component and many other aspects. So as I mentioned, me and my friend Dr. Subash, we give a lot of presentation, had a lot of debate and discussion with the college, and then eventually the Region 17 was established. I was very honored to be the first chief, followed by George Abi Saad. Dr. Subash was the first chair of the country, and followed by Dr. George Abi Saad, and succeeded by Dr. Abdul Hakim Al-Khouly from Egypt. As I mentioned, our region is very big. We are very happy with what has been achieved in reaching about 17 countries in our region in a very short time, which make it one of the growing regions or fast growing regions in the ATLS regarding from the American College of Surgeons. Some of the statistics where it started, for example, we were the first in Saudi Arabia 1991, Bahrain 98, Qatar 2000, United Arab Emirates 2004, Kuwait was 2008, and Nigeria 10, Lebanon 10, and Iran, and so on. I don't want to bother you, but we recently had a site visit to Turkey. Turkey is a big nation, and we think once we establish in Turkey, it will all regions around it, like Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan and other regions will, or other countries around Turkey because of the language. And the Turkish people are very keen and eager, and they have very strong medical system and beautiful educational centers. We continue to have our annual meetings in different parts of our region. Despite all the challenges, we keep changing the site because of the problems we had up to 3 years ago. Now it's settling a little bit, but we still have challenges to continue. What I want to finish my presentation is that ATLS is not only a course. ATLS is a philosophy in trauma care. Out of ATLS, there's a lot of interest happening. For example, trauma system now is a very hot issue in our region. We have about 4 or 5 countries. Some have full-blown trauma systems. Some are on half the way through, and others are on the right track. With the other interest from other countries to have a trauma system. So ATLS also created the importance of trauma as a medical disease, and the importance of tackling it from pre-hospital to the rehabilitation. I just want to end with an example that the person now who has just been appointed in pre-hospital trauma care in Saudi Arabia, he is one of our ATLS course director. So I think ATLS is not just a course that educates people, but it's more than that, and I would believe it's a philosophy rather than a course. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Professor Saad Turki, and it was really it was an eye-opener, and I really you deserve a big round of applause for untiring efforts to promulgate the ATLS program in so many countries in MENA, and you rightly described that ATLS is not just a course, it's a philosophy, and it's rightly so. And now I'll request my co-moderator, Professor Sandeep Tiwari, to conclude the session by his concluding remarks and thanking all the panelists.
Thank you, please. Thank you, Professor Subodh, sir. It was a wonderful session. It started with the keynote of Professor Jan and then ending with Dr. Saud. And just a little comment that we have to take ATLS beyond the training also, because what we have experienced, we have seen that people are taking training, but around 50% of them, they are really executing their training in emergency bay or in trauma bay. So that we have to see. And besides that, everything is going fine. I'm very, very thankful to our overseas guests, Professor Subhash, Professor Shafakat, and Professor Saud, as well as Professor Jaya and Professor Ravi for giving their time and opportunity to our audience to listen to them. Thank you. Thank you.